Well, Ricardo, you got to do what you wanted to do, and you finally got to throw me under the bus, and you finally got to show all these well-baked little prejudices that you had against me. I had a feeling that you didn't like the fact that Darius even considered apologising to Slotham, and a lot of this came from that. So don't you hide it, and you're dressing it all up in your word salad. You go wasting your energy doing that. You just threw away because you waited for the tiniest little thing, and I made a little joke I shouldn't have done, shouldn't I? I shouldn't have made a little joke and just said, oh, I hear you're on your period, just as a joke, just to sort of address the whole thing without having to address it. I understand that you're a bit sensitive or whatever about that, so fair enough, that was maybe insensitive on my part to make a joke, but the way you went off and the things you brought up that were all well-baked, all there, just been sat there waiting, I knew there was a reason why you left me out of it specifically. There's always a reason. It wasn't because you specifically thought I was any better than anyone else, because of the way you just went scattergun against everybody, because of your manipulations and what you're wanting to achieve. Well, what you're doing now is you're flapping around like a fucking fish, so good luck to you. Ricardo, you look like a fucking idiot, and you know why? Because you're arguing with me when I was having a conversation with someone half an hour ago, and you're talking, but the thing that's pissing me off is that you're using it as a little fucking vehicle to chuck insults at me that you've obviously been thinking for a long time about me being split personality. No, it's just that women aren't allowed to have an emotional reaction, so most of the time I'm fine chilling with people, and then if someone does something, I'll address it. But that to you is split personality. But part of it is also because you're reading comments from over half an hour ago, and you are just so desperate to paint me as this desperate, nasty person that you're just doing that. I'm just having a legitimate reaction to someone who I thought was a friend, who is just laying into me with all these prejudices that have, and proper hate, and accusing me of hate. There was no hate in my heart for you. I called you like you were acting crazy when I was talking to Evil. I'm assuming that I said you were acting crazy because it was just unbelievable what had happened and what you thought about Ron and all that stuff. Given that you hadn't given me any feedback apart from that you thought everyone was alts and everyone was out to get you, and I shouldn't talk to you about it, I was saying you were acting a bit crazy. I didn't call you a psychopath or anything. You're putting all that on me. This is all your paranoia, this hatred, this split personality, all this, and then going off on it in this big, like, creating like a big fucking show about it afterwards, about, oh, you should go and go to the psychiatrist and all that, and like repeating this whole thing and making this whole story and this whole show just on repeat. Who's the crazy person here? Is it me because I'm replying to you? Probably. Are you just gonna make me out to be crazy because I'm having an emotional reaction to you doing that to me in front of everybody and smearing me? That is a smear campaign. That's simplifying someone down to very small things, getting it onto like a brand, like a tagline or a jingle, and repeating it. That is a smear campaign. That's what you're doing on me because you misinterpreted a joke that I said. My phone cut out, but yeah, you did all that off a joke that I said, and I did see a comment quickly, I think from Hey Y'all, saying that I didn't address anything. I didn't address the elephant in the room, and maybe I was a bit too cryptic, but that's all that was just basically me turning up and saying, hey, this has all happened. I hear everything's a bit crazy. I didn't want to have to go and explain it all to you. And go into like, oh, you know that I made that video about you and da 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 da. I just wanted to address it with just a simple thing, and I just said, oh, I hear you're on your period at the moment. Maybe that sent you off the wrong way, but maybe in my circle, if you just said that to someone, it's just kind of like, oh right, yeah, it's a little bit like oof, but at the same time it's nothing, it's just a bit of a joke, and it was just to address it. Maybe I was a bit too vague, but I was trying not to be too specific, because obviously you're not trying to be too specific, apart from when you were attacking me with your very specific tagline, and that's the bit that's disappointed me, Ricardo, that you've just gone straight into this very defensive attacking, which I can understand feeling attacked to the level that you're being attacked, maybe not. To accuse me of hate and all this psychological stuff that you've had in your head about me. Like, the thing about me is that you might say I'm crazy for having these ideas and thinking about things in a psychological way, But I don't sit there pontificating on people and just judging them and not saying anything to them and then just acting like they're my mate. And then when I'm in an argument with them, just throwing all that stuff at them. That's not how I roll with that stuff. I'm doing it out of like educating myself for understanding purposes, not so I can store them up as some sort of little barb and go, oh, that's a good one, oh, that's a good one, and then just chuck it at them later on. No, as I see it, I say it, because that's just where my priorities are. They're not in an attack or defence, they just are. And that's what education's about, and that's what learning's about, and that's what understanding is about. And obviously your understanding is being very much shadowed by something, and I think it's over a long period, because those prejudices that you've got against me have obviously been formed and hardened over a long time. I'm sorry for trying to address the elephant in the room like I thought we were friends, and I thought that we could both stick our head over the top of it, which is what I thought you were doing when you were discussing stuff. And I was just, actually, those comments, if you read them in order, you'd see that they were just me responding to what you were saying about Darius and things, and when you were saying, oh, I don't want to talk about it, and I was like, oh, fair enough. Again, my phone keeps running out of memory, so just to finish it off, you chose, it was you chose to throw hate at me for something like that. That was basically me. When I think about it, it's like in a social way, that is a bit of the way I saw it and where I wanted to use it as a bit of a tool, as a bit of a springboard to get over that other hump of stuff. But you're just so fixated on that, like way before where I thought you were. You're thinking everyone is attacking you. So I'm sorry that was misjudged, because I really did want to just come in and be like, okay, instead of like pretending, is that what you want? Is that what you want? Is that what all these people do this for? Is that why everyone is so fake? That you really do just prefer it if people come in and go, oh, hey, Ricardo, I don't know what's been going on. I have got no idea. Oh, tell me everything. And like, just do it like that, instead of just going, oh, I hear this has been going off, without having to just go, oh, this person's name and that person's name and all that stuff, because then it just turns it into a big distraction from what you were trying to tell me about. So that, that's kind of trying to explain what use that is as a tool. And you obviously, all those nuances were lost on you because you fundamentally think that I've got a split personality, which I'm not going to discount, because at the end of the day, I'm open-minded to everything. I'm not going to just stick my heels in and if you see something, but the way you used it, the smear campaign and the branding of it, doesn't really give it that much gravity. I'm sorry, it does trivialise any point that you're trying to make there, especially since, again, there's no evidence shown, and this is again a bit of a running theme with you now, Ricardo, and you can call me crazy, you can call me split personality, but I'm still waiting for evidence. And you have really shown yourself now to be very judgmental, and obviously much more preferring to live in a fantasy realm than any sort of realness. Although I do say that maybe my joke was ill-placed. The reaction, however, was very telling and was definitely nothing to do with whatever instigated it. So unfortunately, you've shown quite a lot of yourself there to me. See, I would have expected it to sort of go like, for me to say, oh, you're on your period, I hear you're on your period, and you kind of use that as an excuse to be like, no, I'm not on my period, oh, you've heard this, have you, blah, 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 and then gone into it like that, and just cut through all that shit, like, basically just saying, oh, I hear there's been a lot of ructions, there's been trouble at the mill, let's carry it on. But at the end of the day, mate, you turned on everybody and everybody supported you, and I've just seen it firsthand how someone who, yes, I made maybe an ill-placed comment to someone who's very sensitive at the moment. I'm sorry if you don't take offence at it, but the level of hate that got thrown at me as someone who has done nothing but support you and had nothing but good words to say about you. I've done nothing except be positive towards you, and I never had, even when everyone else was like, when you were in with the rats and people were against you, I was the one. In fact, I was the fucking one, mate, who went over to you when no one else was going over to you. Carla was as well. That's why I'm so like, why have you done this to Ron? It was like me and Ron who bothered. And I noticed that you actually had a brain, and we had that conversation and everything, so we've been through all that, and you just think that I've got it in for you and I'm just a crazy split personality person, and you go on this loop of like, fucking hell, like, just like some sort of advertising campaign. It's just sad. The last thing I'm going to say on this, because it's been a theme with everybody, directing the thing that they're being accused of at other people. And it's no coincidence to me that off a joke, which really had nothing psychological about it at all, you went on a massive tirade about madness and craziness and being crazy, because I'd referred to you being a bit crazy in my video, and instead of actually addressing it, you did this. Or it's because there's already a crazy woman narrative and all that, and I'm the only one to take it, and it's really easy to try and pinpoint and focus it on, try and slough it off onto me, when you have just had the most crazy outburst in public, that's just, everyone can see it. So the evidence is there on you, Ricardo. I ask you to, again, present your evidence.